Everybody, it's Dick here. It's a sunny day. I got the bike out. I've been having trouble getting out on consistent rides this year so far. The weather hasn't been too helpful either. Usually living in London, you can be pretty much a year-round rider, but this year has been pretty crappy. Took the bike out for a wander, just kind of got lost on some roads and found a little cafe, looked inviting enough, and I saw on the menu a grilled cheese sandwich, and I was thrilled to have a grilled cheese sandwich. I do like my grilled cheese sandwich. It's a little chilly today, so you know, a little grilled cheese sandwich, a little cup of soup, maybe a tea. That's a good lunch. Grilled cheese isn't that difficult a thing to prepare either, one would think. But the product I received was the furthest thing from a grilled cheese sandwich I think anyone has ever tried to pass off. I mean, it was complete and utter crap, but if you were to look at it closely, you would have been surprised at how they managed to pull off such a disappointing sandwich. It was, you know, crappy white bread. It was preservative-filled, bleached, floured white bread, soft white bread, which I can't fault. People like their white bread, and it's easy to make a grilled cheese sandwich with white bread because it reacts well to the heat and the oil and the butter and the cheese. They used factory-made, factory-shredded, I guess it was some version of cheddar cheese. It was like a mild, very young cheddar cheese and some margarine. Now, even with those ingredients, anyone who has cooked anything in their lives could put that on a frying pan and melt the cheese and grill the bread. It could be a grilled cheese sandwich. I don't know how they did it. I got back this thing that it was the outside of the sandwich. It was like they had toasted one side of each of the slices of bread, because the inside of the bread, or the inside of the sandwich, the bread was soft and cold. It was room temperature, and there was no heat or any sort of sense that the heat had permeated through this very thin piece of white bread. But the outside was generally slightly toasted. The inside, like I said, soft, room temperature, white. No evidence whatsoever of butter or margarine, even though I saw them apply it to the bread. And the cheese that they had like maybe 2 or 3 pinches of cheese. So not even a generous or even an adequate amount. Forget generous. Not even an adequate amount of cheese was kind of pinched and pushed between these 2 pieces of bread. And that was refrigerator cold, not melted at all. It was shocking that this was their version of a grilled cheese. And it's not like they had some, young, counter jockey who had never cooked before. It was this, rather large, blokey guy who apparently ran the place. His apron was dirty enough to give some sort of indication that he had cooked things before in his life. But this is what he had passed off as his product, as his work ethic. This reflected what he wanted to be the example of his cafe, of his expertise, of his experience. It was embarrassing. It was dismal. Now, I've had bad grilled cheeses before in my life, and most of them have been here in England because there's some sort of aversion, at least in little roadside cafes and things, to cooking anything. But a grilled cheese sandwich I didn't know there was so much politics behind grilled cheeses until I started having bad ones, and I kind of got into the politics of the grilled cheese. My buddy in the States knows that I like grilled cheese sandwiches, and he sent me a link to a video for the Food Network. It's, a television channel devoted to celebrity chefs. I guess people who can talk coherently into a camera and warm up ingredients and make food. It's a great platform for a television channel. However, the video of this guy, how this guy got his audition tape reviewed was amazing. Anyway, I didn't know who this chef was. I'd never heard of him before. Middle-aged guy, white guy, and he starts going off on his extreme disappointment in people's misunderstanding what a grilled cheese sandwich was. And at first he had me. At first I was like, good video. Because sometimes people send you videos that just completely miss the mark. They think you're gonna like it, and it's just not up your alley. Probably most of the people who receive my videos as links have the same reaction as I had to this guy's video. Maybe he's saying, oh no, this guy's an idiot. The gist of the video was, is that ever since he was a child, and someone had given him a grilled cheese sandwich or offered a grilled cheese sandwich, or a grilled cheese sandwich was offered on a menu, they had gotten it wrong. That a grilled cheese sandwich was a universal misunderstanding of the definition of a grilled cheese sandwich. And he went on to define what he believed was the accurate definition of a grilled cheese sandwich. And his definition was, it was not a grilled sandwich with cheese in the middle. Okay? It was, in order to have a grilled cheese sandwich, you needed to grill the cheese, whatever the fuck that is, and then put the grilled cheese, or the pre-grilled cheese, into a sandwich. Let me clarify. You needed to pre-grill cheese, and then put the grilled cheese into a sandwich. Now maybe because the slang of a grilled cheese sandwich is a grilled cheese, may I please have a grilled cheese, this guy somehow, 40 odd years ago, heard that and then was shocked to see that the grilled cheese he had ordered was between two pieces of bread. Maybe that's where his misunderstanding came from. You would think in the next 40 years of him making this mistake, he wouldn't obsess over it and create some sort of personal vendetta against everyone who serves a grilled cheese sandwich that doesn't grill the cheese separately. Now, we all understand, and if we don't, I'm going to help us out here. A grilled cheese sandwich is a cheese sandwich that has been grilled. Easy enough. You can have a cheese sandwich, or hey, you want something a little different? Let's grill that cheese sandwich up. Your cheese sandwich would have been grilled, thus it's a grilled cheese sandwich. A grilled cheese sandwich. Now, I should have clicked the video off it then, but then the guy went on to fire up his barbecue grill, create some sort of contraption using tin foil and a flat, wide spatula, grill his cheese, and then pour it onto two sad pieces of bread. Now, I'm sure the schmuck sandwich on the Food Network was infinitely better than the one that the bloke tried to give me this afternoon. However, both of them raise my hackles. They rile me up. There doesn't seem to be some sort of consensus as to what a grilled cheese sandwich is. And if there is, no one really knows how to make one properly, because I haven't had one made properly unless I've made it myself in response to a bad one. Now, those of you who might be watching that live in America and have a proper Greek diner or a Jersey diner near you, then you are probably, I say probably, in luck that you might have had or able to have consistently a halfway decent grilled cheese sandwich. I say that probably because the last time I was at the TikTok diner on Route 3 in New Jersey when I was back visiting, it was like I was in England at some sort of pass-off diner. I mean, it was an awful, awful grilled cheese sandwich. One slice of cheese that was sweaty. It wasn't melted, it was sweaty. That's not a grilled cheese sandwich. So I say probably able to get one, but really we have to rise up. Of all the injustices that we're experiencing in the Western world these days, we've just taken a lot of things as normal. We've just taken a lot of things on the chin and accepted things that are completely absurd as normal. The line is drawn here, no further. Rise up. Demand proper grilled cheese sandwiches, or if not, learn to make one yourself. Now, some of you are watching and wondering why the hell I am spending so much time talking about crappy grilled cheese sandwiches and the misunderstanding of what grilled cheeses are. And I appreciate your allowance that I'm not prattling on, as one viewer said, about the motorcycle I'm riding. But most of us, when we go out for a motorcycle ride, it's our hope and intention to arrive at a destination that will have some sort of pleasant meal or a snack or repast. And nothing ruins a motorcycle ride for me more than a shitty lunch in the middle of it. So I'm going to spend a little time after I get off the bike making a grilled cheese sandwich and videoing it for your pleasure and edification and education. And hopefully some cafe or bodega owners will watch this and see that we as customers are willing to wait another minute or two if what you serve us is worth our time and money. Start by toasting some nice fresh bread. I like the sourdough we can get from the baker on the lane. I like adding some goodies to my grilled cheese. I usually make a little concoction of what's around the house. Today it's garlic, red onion, sun-dried tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. If I had them, I'd throw in some sliced Kalamata olives or some sweet red peppers. Pour an excessive amount of extra virgin olive oil into a non-stick pan. Bring the oil to temperature over a high heat. When the oil becomes fluid, add your onions and garlic and start the sauté. By now your bread should be toasted. Butter one side of the toast, whatever the outside of your sandwich is going to be. Make sure you get right to the edges of the crust. You can tell a good sauté when the onions are translucent and the garlic is browning at the edges. Add the sun-dried tomatoes and any of the other ingredients you've decided to add and mix them thoroughly. Keep it over a high heat until it starts to caramelize, then turn the heat all the way down and set it aside. Slice or shred a good quality cheese. I prefer an extra mature English cheddar. Do not dare use a processed American cheese. Extra virgin olive oil over a high heat. Place your first slice of toast, butter side down, into the hot oil. We use toast so our sandwich is not flaccid. Liberally add your cheese. Be generous, but be mindful not to have thick chunks or pile it too high, as it will affect the melt. I also like to mix it up with a blend of cheeses sometimes, or Gruyere, a few shavings of Parmesan, maybe a lashing of Bresson. No mozzarella unless it's fresh buffalo mozzarella and only within measure. And again, no American cheese. Cover the pan and adjust your heat if it's too high. Be careful not to burn your bread. Let the heat convect and start the melt. When the edges of the cheese start to melt, add your goodies if you've made any. After the cooked fillings, add any cold items. Sliced tomatoes, scallions, spring onions are delicious, or anything that strikes your fancy. I add a dash of more cheese on top to help with adhesion for the top slice of toast. If you aren't adding fillings, let the melt go longer. Add your top slice of toast butter side up and flip carefully. You'll notice 2 sandwiches in the pan now. My wife saw me making one, and she demanded one for herself. They're that good. Be mindful not to spill the entire contents of the sandwich into the pan as you're flipping it, as the cheese will burn prematurely and make a lot of smoke in your kitchen. Let it cook until properly melted and serve it hot. I like to cook it just shy of burnt. That ensures a good melt for all of the cheese inside. It also lets the toast and the oozing cheese get nice and crispy around the edges. I slice mine in half as I use big slices of bread. It also makes it easier to share when people come begging for a bite. Have it with any sauces you like, and enjoy a proper grilled cheese sandwich. You deserve it. We all do. If you like that video, and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.